welcome everyone. I'm Sheen Kachru. So let's start the weekly important news. So the very first is the PM address on 20th April 2021 at 8:45 p.m. where he talked about that the government have expanded the COVID-19 vaccination strategies where the citizen above the age of 18 can vaccinate from May 1. He talked about that the government completely deny and rules out any national COVID-19 lockdown, and he even talked about the Samarthya, Sansadhan, and the Seva Bhav. The second news is coming from the Delhi, where the Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal have formed a committee where the committee will be looking after the welfares of the migrant laborers, migrant workers living in the Delhi. And the committee have two nodal officers. The very first is Mr. Bhupendra Singh. He is the Principal Secretary Home, and the second is Rajesh Kumar from the Delhi Police and from the Central Range. So they will be the nodal officers and they will be planning regarding the direct cash transfer of around 5,000 rupees and regarding the food and the lodging of the migrant workers who are staying in the Delhi. The third news is coming from the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court have noted for the appointment of the ad hoc judges to terminate the pendency of around 57 lakh cases in the High Court. And this is something which is also written in the Constitution in Article 224, which states that the Chief Justice of High Court can appoint the ad hoc judges with the approval and the consent of the President. The fourth news is coming from Jammu and Kashmir, where the government of Jammu and Kashmir have constituted a task force which will identify and scrutinize the government employees who are involved in any cases related to or which can pose threat to the security or are anti-national. And this group will comprise of the ADGB. He will be acting as the chairman, and the representatives of the Home Department, Department of Law, Justice members, and from the members of the Parliamentary Affairs of the concerned department of the member. The Punjab government have approved a reward policy to encourage the information and inputs leading to the recovery of drugs under the NDPS Act. So now international news. So US advises its citizen to avoid visit amid the high COVID-19 cases in India. In fact, the Center for the Disease Control and Prevention has placed India under level 4 or very high category because of the high cases of the COVID-19 in the second wave. The second news is coming from Russia, where Russia will soon leave the International Space Station and will launch its own space station in 2025. In fact, the Roscom has said that they haven't told any final date or any quite good reason for this, but they will have some kind of the negotiations with the partner on some kind of forms and conditions of cooperation beyond 2024. Chinese President Xi Jinping speaking at the annual Boao Forum, a meeting known as the Chinese Davos, where the President Xi Jinping said few things. The very first was that they talked about to continue the BRI, to take forward the BRI, including the joint vaccine production. He talked about to promote the hard connectivity of the infrastructure and soft connectivity of the rules and standard. In fact, he called for upholding the multilateralism and enhancing the communication and coordination has grown stronger. Some important economic news. The very first is that the rating agency Crisil has warned of a grim economic scenario with the surge in COVID-19 cases in India and has suggested India to ramp up and speed up the vaccination process. The second is coming from the Citi Group, which will soon exit the banking business in 13 markets, said that the consumer bank would be able to avail of their usual service till a buyer or buyers were found for the business after due approval of the RBI. The Agriculture Ministry said that India had exported the agriculture commodities worth rupees 2.74 lakh crore in the month of February of the 2020 and 21 fiscal, which shows that there is an increase of 16.9% in the export of agriculture commodities in India. So, thank you so much everyone. Every week we will be here giving you some important highlight of the weekly news from national, international economics and sports and any other news which is important. You can even DM us if you think that there is some kind of important news which is not covered and which you want to be covered. So, thank you so much and stay updated.